Number 1. Beginning with an iconic ghost thriller from Japan. Pulse is a 2001 supernatural horror film directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. It's a dreary, unrelentingly bleak, nightmarish story about two groups of Tokyo residents as they slowly piece together that sinister spirits are using the internet to travel into the real world and convince people to harm themselves. Pulse is overwhelmingly terrifying, featuring haunting and disturbing imagery that keeps viewers shivering with fright. There's no gore or intense jump scares, just perfect suspense and scenes that build with mounting horror. It even features one of the most horrifying scenes of any film, in a moment where a character encounters an eerie ghost with unnatural body movements. The score is also quite unsettling and effectively creeps right under the skin. The movie is purely nightmare-inducing and sticks with the audience well after the credits roll. Number 2. Hereditary. The most recent entry to this list is 2018's Hereditary, directed by indie filmmaker Ari Aster. Considered one of the most frightening and recognizable folk horror movies in cinema. It's a pulse-pounding story about a grieving family that, after the death of their cryptic grandmother, begins descending into chaos as strange supernatural occurrences happen all around them. Hereditary is a modern horror masterpiece that fills audiences with dread. As part of the elevated horror subgenre, it's a slow-burner thriller with powerful storytelling and intense suspense to hone in on its scares. It's also backed by some of the best acting in the horror genre, especially by actress Toni Collette, who is utterly captivating in the lead role. It's an eerie, compelling film that takes its time and doesn't fail to leave a frightening impact. Number 3. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Onto one of the most iconic and darkest slasher flicks in horror history. Wes Craven's 1984 classic A Nightmare on Elm Street. A bloody, intense serial killer film with a fresh concept. It follows the story of a group of neighborhood friends as they find themselves being stalked and killed one by a horrifying supernatural murderer who claims them in their sleep. A Nightmare on Elm Street is one of the most recognizable slasher movies ever. It introduced the world to Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund, a frightening pop cultural icon who made an entire generation of kids afraid to dream at night. The idea of a serial killer stalking people in their nightmares is a unique concept that raises the stakes and continues to be one of the most creative ideas for any horror movie. The film is still terrifying and has iconic moments that have become legendary in cinema. Just make sure not to watch this before bed. Number 4. Ringu. Hailing again from Japan. At number 7 is 1995's Ringu, a supernatural horror mystery thriller directed by Hideo Nakata. The story follows a female reporter who, after the horrific death of her niece, links a string of other grisly murders to a supposed cursed videotape that kills anyone who watches it in 7 days. It's a chilling ghost story with memorable scares that'll make just about anyone afraid that something terrible will crawl out of their TV screens. Ringu is often regarded as one of the scariest horror movies of the 1990s. A film dripping with so much terror. The iconic scene of the ghost Sadako Yamura or Ieinoo eerily creeping out of a television set has become legendary in horror cinema, and one fans certainly haven't forgotten. The film spawned several sequels, including an equally memorable American remake directed by Gore Verbinski. Number 5. Insidious, directed by James Wan, the chilling mind behind Saw and the Conjuring franchise. Insidious is a 2010 supernatural ghost movie packed to the brim with intense scares, starring Patrick Wilson and Lynn Shay. It tells the story of a family of 5 trying to make a fresh start in a new home. However, when the eldest son, Dalton Ty Simpkins, accidentally falls into a coma, a series of strange events leads the rest of the family to believe a terrifying demon is lurking somewhere in the house and is trying to collect Dalton's soul. Insidious is a wild, thrilling haunted house ride. It boasts some of the biggest and most memorable jump scares in movie history. It's also expertly paced and dripping with suspense, keeping the audience invested right from start to finish. There's enough shock and terror to take anyone's breath away. It truly is a standout in the supernatural genre and can still be pretty intense to watch today. And there you have it, 5 films that redefine fear and keep audiences gripping their seats even after the credits roll. But remember, what makes a movie truly terrifying isn't just the jump scares or creepy visuals. It's the way these stories get under your skin, making you question what's lurking in the dark long after the screen goes black. So, which of these nightmares will you dare to revisit tonight? Or is there another film that haunts your dreams that should have made this list? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip into terror, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button for more chilling content.